Yeah, I saw that earlier. I was like, what in the world?
That was from the episode where you guys weren't around. We were talking about Eichenfell. It's a RPG where the cats are save points, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, that
I
was
got a screenshot.
Yeah, I had all of that up too.
I have the game, by the way. Haven't played it yet, but
There you go.
I'll give you my review at a later time.
There you
Please do.
That's true. For all our audio friends, we're just putting stuff on screen that you can't see. I don't know that, Nick, have you unmuted yourself?
Yep.
Okay, good. Oh, it is episode 172?
Yes.
170 dose.
170 dose.
For those of you who are only listening to us, you are missing out on some pretty amazing things. So we put last week's episode, New Year, New Rage Buffalo, up on iTunes. And so if you're only listening to us, and now we may be on a lot more platforms than we were before, including Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I put us everywhere.
Google Podcasts?
Google
What about
Podcasts
Sirius
as well.
XM?
Sure. We go on right after Howard.
They
Stern.
they have podcasts on their website.
They do, yeah.
They
go on right
even have
after
a Marvel one.
So, if you're new to this, welcome to the Thunderdome. Like,
One man enter, two man leave.
This show of all things is a testament to the going off on wild tangents about random things. Now we focus on things like games and pop culture and all this other stuff, but we really and movies and just anything. And then we really kind of end up going sideways at some point. Like it happens every episode almost. If it doesn't happen, it's probably not a very good episode. But
we're all tired or bored.
It's true. So very quick introductions. This podcast started 172-ish episodes ago with me. I'm Cav, and that's Nick over there as well. We started this by ourselves in my front room. It was fun. We needed more people.
And there for a while, I was in your mom's front room.
That's true.
Oh, fun.
I forgot about that. So,
you moved, and that was where we relocated.
Just like Apple. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
started out at one house and then moved to her house, and then now it's our house.
I had forgotten about that. I had sold my house and was building another one, so I moved back in at my mom's for a bit, and we did it there in her front room.
On the smallest possible table that two adult men could sit at.
And then we brought it here into the room that I'm sitting in. And then, pandemic happened. And so we switched over to remote video, which has allowed us to bring other people in, including Earth 2 Church.
I would have driven down every week otherwise. So.
Yeah. He is several hours away.
It's all downhill, though. It's okay.
It's true.
Yeah,
you don't even have to use gas. Like, and then that is Earth 2 Church. Earth 1 Church does show up occasionally from time to time. Hannah is around also from time to time. But we also have Sam, the Rage Buffalo himself, right here. Filled with rage and buffalo wings. I don't know.
Those laughs are really little gasps of rage.
Yes,
it's very true.
Don't forget Milo in the studio back there.
Oh yeah, Milo.
Oh yeah, Milo's back there.
He is back there. Yeah, he is back there snoozing away. There are various other cats and other animals that show up on the video.
There's a cat all the way back there. There's a cat.
Oh, that's it.
Yep, right there. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
I wasn't sure what we were looking at there. I was a little concerned.
So these are the things that you get on video. So we are live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube right now. It allows you
Sam,
to.
I'm realizing that you and I have to step our background game up. This is sad.
In all fairness, I just moved.
Oh, I'm a
in all
gamer.
fairness, I've lived here for 10 years.
This room is a work in progress.
Right.
We should
I
play a
look
game
forward to
with
taking-
Sam called "What's in the Box."
Yes.
No.
Where he just picks out a random item.
What's in the
What's in the box?
It's a mushroom.
So there's your first tangent, friends. Welcome.
Welcome. That's true. So yeah, so we'll get into stuff here, but just since we are back on iTunes and everything, we figured you might want to actually know who we are and what we do. But yeah, we always recommend come hang out with us on video. We do it live, so you can comment live on the videos and help drive and steer the conversation to even worse tangents. And so there's another cat. So. Same cat, different cat. They're all evil, aren't they? So, and I say,
You turn around, he dies at the back of your head.
so, all right, gang.
Have you guys seen that? Speaking of cats diving at heads, have you seen that video of that little girl kissing the glass at the zoo and the lion goes nuts?
No.
Yeah, I saw it last night and I showed Harper and she was like, "What is the lion doing?" I said, "Trying to get a meal."
That's true. Misty says hi, Joe. Hi, Joe. I assume Joe's watching. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
So, yeah. So we've got some stuff. We've got some movies, TV, tech.
Go, Joe.
I saw the Silverback video from a couple of years back.
Yeah,
Like,
did you say
cracked the glass at the
lion?
zoo? Yeah, I haven't seen the lion one.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you just said I saw a Nickelback video.
Broke the glass.
Broke the glass. That is my mom. My mom.
Hey,
Hey, and there's Joe Guy. Hey, Joe. So all right, let's talk about this. We've got, where do we want to go? We want to go Star Wars TV, CES, games. Where do we want to go?
I think we start with Star Wars. Why not?
We always,
Why not?
yeah, that's true.
Well,
Nick,
hey,
take
you
us
know what?
through it.
Then let's start with something else. Then, if we always start with it, let's start. With
Well, we don't always start with Star Wars. Hey, Barry, what's up? On YouTube.
Barry.
Barry also shows up like once every 150 episodes, so he's been on once.
There you go. There you go. Well, in Star Wars news, Star Wars just recently released a timeline of the upcoming films that they are going to have. So they are prequels to prequels, which will be, yeah, of course I would say that. Duh. Star Wars is my jam. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Thanks, Misty. So it's the High Republic. So essentially they're going to have Fall of the Jedi, Reign of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, the New Republic, and the Rise of the First Order is kind of the order in which the Star Wars universe is organized at this point. Up until recently, they have not they've not had a significant timeline for prior to the prequels. So the High Republic side of things is what is going to be explored next, and it's kind of nice to know where it falls in line with everything else, because I think it's going to be a different version of Star Wars than a lot of people have seen, similar to how some of the newer movies were different in a way. I think it's going to be kind of along those same lines. So that's that.
Yeah, there was because when Rogue One came out, it was like they very specifically made sure you understood where this fit in the timeline, because it had been 3 in a row or whatever. No, this fits in between this and this is where it goes.
And the High Republic is what you see at the beginning of the prequel trilogies, towards the end of the High Republic. Mm-hmm. So pretty much before that, Episode 1 is what they're talking about now. All the other movies cover everything else that I have said: the Fall of the Jedi, the Reign of the Empire, the Rebellion, all that stuff. So it's exciting.
But we are getting something in the Reign of the Empire. There's a reference to the Bad Batch, which we are getting, which is similar. It's going to fit in between things as well. So
yeah, the Bad Batch will fit between Clone Wars, so Episode 2 and 3, give or take.
Yeah, it has it between Revenge of the Sith and Solo. But I don't know. That's
Okay,
where
that makes sense.
that's where it is on this timeline
that
now.
makes
Whether
sense.
that, yeah.
No, I
So-
mean, just because how it all kind of unfolded, towards the end of Clone Wars. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it could be the story that they're telling with the Bad Batch happens then, but the whole
Right.
but the origin of the Bad Batch is in between. Like you said, Clones and Clone Wars. So,
yep.
I mean, here's the thing with as popular as Mandalorian is, like, we're gonna get so much Star Wars, like in that kind of in that same vein, I think, of Mandalorian, in that world of, like, we're getting movies too, like the High Republic movies. We don't know much about them, but it seems like a very cool news story, something that is not Skywalker related at all, I assume. Like,
it is.
It's all Palpatine, all three of them. It's origin.
Yeah.
My name is Ray Star Wars, and but with Mandalorian, like, you look at it in how, like, they were able to weave in all those characters, like characters that you know and you love or whatever, that it's certainly a good, I think that they've kind of figured it out. Like, there's enough people who, love them or hate them. The new movies, it's kind of more of the same. Like, Mandalorian felt new, like in a longer, kind of drawn out, type story, and plus, it's an amazing character. So, I hear I'm gonna watch anything they put out, like, because at this point, they haven't done me wrong, except for Jar Jar.
Well, and I think go ahead, Brandon.
Well, just to speak on your point earlier, as you had to branch out the tone a little bit, and that's kind of what they did with Solo and with Rogue One, trying to get a different perspective. And the same thing Marvel's doing. You can't have every movie be classic Star Wars, every movie be classic superhero, and doing different time periods allows you to play with the genre and the formula a little bit. I'm kind of hoping, I want to get your guys' perspective on this. Do you think they'll show the Mandalorian Jedi Wars when Mandalore was just kind of founded? Because we have all that hype for Mandalorian, we kind of lean into their heritage and history. And if you jump back a couple thousand years, that'd be pretty cool.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool because now that they've introduced Mandalore the Great and all that stuff with the Darksaber, like, I think it would be really cool to see that Mandalorian Jedi.
Exactly, the first contact.
Yeah. Even if they manage to pull it off in Mandalorian. If that's kind of like a flashback scene or something, I just think it would be cool to see.
Mm-hmm. And they seem that they've laid the groundwork. They've done a lot of the explanation and the introduction of the characters, so there should be interest for it if they go that way.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, they've talked a lot about, at least they've kind of, referenced, Bo-Katan and the rightful owner of the Darksaber and all this other stuff. So, like, they're planting enough seeds that I think you could certainly get there. Like Nick said, even like in a flashback or something like that, it could be fun. I mean, yeah, you could do it in a movie, like, even if it's a Disney Plus movie, or, I mean, heck, you could animate it. Like, you could do any number of things with it, but I think really at this point they were. I think it's safe to say that Lucas/Disney was probably a little disappointed with the reception to some of the Star Wars stuff, and that when Mandalorian hit, it becomes this huge hit that, like, oh, we need to lean further that direction. And to Brandon's point too, like with Rogue One and Solo, like the tonal shift is they're figuring out what works. And so like I said, I'm going to watch whatever they put out, because at this point, other than Grogu being a frog murderer, it's been great.
It's been great because of that. That's my favorite part.
I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I think the Mandalorian has brought a lot of average fans or new fans to the mix. I know people that I work with that are not heavily Star Wars related fans in any way or shape. They have loved Mandalorian, and that's kind of brought them into the universe.
Speaking of love, a lot of love from the good Reverend.
Hey, Josh.
That's right,
Josh Kerr. Hello, Josh. So yeah,
I think that's important. I don't know. I think the reason that people have a hesitancy with Star Wars or even Star Trek for that matter is that they're so out there with technology and things that it's kind of hard to maybe for some people see yourself in those characters. Whereas like for like Captain America or stuff like that, like it's easier. They're human, so it's easier to see yourself in those people. I don't know. Just my thought.
I mean, I think I see certainly like you've got the two extremes because like you've got, Mandalorian for nothing but a blaster, the dude's a human being, like in some really shiny armor. Like that's more human than say a Jedi.
Absolutely.
Like, and so you look at it, but the things that we see on screen really in those types of movies, like Star Trek is even further on. I would think like Star Wars, in a galaxy far, far away, a long, long time ago, like, that should have happened before us. Like, I don't know,
right.
Why we still don't have lightsabers, but,
I think Nick does.
It's true. I've got mine somewhere. That's right there.
Maybe.
There was a.
You'll be letting my secrets out, man.
You were talking about the random Facebook video. The random Facebook video. There's also another one of there was that group that built a lightsaber, like whatever, and they opened a safe with it.
Yeah,
because they couldn't get into the safe. They're like, we're going to use the lightsaber. Like that was their plan all along. I don't think they tried very hard with anything else.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos with lightsabers, and it's probably the same people, but they seem way more dangerous in real life than they do on the movie.
It's the accent. Yeah.
True.
Oh, there it is.
Photo lightsaber. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
There it is. Yep.
I think the best part about the article, though, is the fact that they do have everything mapped out.
Mm-hmm.
We complain a lot about the non-connected stories you get from other universes, and it's nice to know. I wasn't naming that name. Nice to know that on the spectrum of DC to Marvel, Star Wars is leaning more the Marvel direction. That's all I'm saying.
Like Cav said, I think they've learned the lessons. Yeah.
And I think it helps. I think it helps the average fan or person trying to see if they like it to understand how everything goes, because the thing that Star Wars always has struggled with all the newer stuff is where does it fit? Because typically we look at something as a sequel. I mean, even if it's not, we look at it as a sequel. And for someone who is not steeped in the lore of it or familiar with it, it can be very difficult. And there's a coworker of mine that is watching all of the Star Wars with her kid. And that's like what they want to do. And so she's asking me constantly, okay, what's the next thing I watch? Yeah, and so I try to give her some suggestions, like you could skip this and watch this, but you need to understand that this happens between these two things, and so you might miss a little bit. Like she's watching Mandalorian right now. And I explained to her, like, as it goes on, you're going to not know some of the significance of things, but it's okay because it still works, So, it's just, I think it helps.
Yeah.
And
what'd you say, Sam?
All anybody cares about is Baby Yoda.
Yeah, true. So what she said. So that's all I care about.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what the Marvel's kind of getting worse at as they go on. Not really worse because it still works, but Captain Marvel, probably Black Widow, are now jumping back and they're inserting these time period pieces that jump around in the timeline. For a long time, they were very linear. It was just you just watch them in the order they were released, and now they're getting a little more complicated.
Yeah,
I think
you look at because it was Captain America. Which was the first one that jumped backwards?
That was probably First Avenger.
Captain
America, and then Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah, Captain Marvel did it pretty significantly as a prequel insert in, and then we don't know for Black Widow, but it's most likely an earlier story.
At least some degree, yeah.
If it ever gets released at this point, like,
and I mean the thing is I think the reason Captain America wasn't as confusing is because we had just kind of started getting into the whole Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And they hadn't really dove down that path of introducing characters and then going back.
But
Whereas
it's obviously World War II. It's like a set event in time.
Right.
You're not going to watch it and think it was a year ago. It's pretty heavily a period.
Right.
Hey, that is some on point cosplay for a lot of people. Like, it's LARPing to a whole other level.
It's one of the best costumes in the MCU. I love that classic look. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Cap, do you remember that time we were driving through downtown Joplin and I shouted out "LARPers" and we about got in a car accident?
I have no recollection of this event. Actually,
you were on the phone, so I had to yell at you.
Wait, who was driving?
He was.
Probably.
Who was LARPing?
Oh, you're on the phone.
Some random people in Joplin at a park were LARPing. We were on our way.
You kind of remember this?
To Jeremy's house, Jeremy Hahn's house. To interview him, I think maybe the first time.
Second time,
first or second. I can't even. I think second time. Anyway, and as we're driving around, kind of just killing some time because we got there early. There were people LARPing in the city park.
Here's the thing: if we would have thought about it, if we would have been more prepared, we should have just gone over and talked to them.
Yeah. No, I mean it looked fun.
Maybe they would have stayed in character and did an interview in Old English, but I don't know. Like,
I just needed some salt packets so I could throw potions at them. LARPing is cool, man. LARPing is cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at some of the detail and just it's about world immersion. Like, you know, we're going to talk about role playing games here a little bit when we get to the gaming section and everything, but D&D and everything. So before we get into that, speaking of Mandalorian and technology, these micro LED displays that they use for things are so dang cool. Like, from a technology standpoint, from a technology standpoint, you look at these giant Sony micro LED displays. Basically, the article from Tech Radar basically says the Mandalorian's micro LED displays could kill off the green screen for good. And it could.
Which how
you watched the video for that?
Yeah.
I mean, how appropriate is that Star Wars kind of revolutionized how special effects were made?
Yeah.
And now they're doing it again. Like, that's pretty cool.
Favreau talked about that. He's like, hey, Star Wars revolutionized, filming once. It's amazing to be a part of that heritage and always kind of pushing that bar.
Yeah. The article also references the new George Clooney movie, Midnight Sky, which is on Netflix, which is a pretty interesting watch. Kind of a slow burn. So be prepared. But visually stunning in a lot of ways. And so, like, you look at something like that. Basically, they say directors can control set surroundings without moving between locations, constructing expensive building projects, things like that eat into a movie's budget. You just have to have this giant display, which, if you look at it, like those big displays, like if you look at like Jerry World in Dallas, Jerry did the Dallas Cowboy Stadium, AT&T Stadium, things like that. A lot of those big LED displays are modular; they come apart.
Yeah,
and so they're easier for transport and stuff like that. I'm waiting for that technology. I mean, I think it's Samsung who has it, but to really hit mainline television, like at your house,
it's the wall technology, isn't it?
Yeah, like I'm gonna buy, I'm gonna buy a 55-inch whatever right now, and then instead of buying a new TV, if I want something bigger, I just buy 2 more panels and I make my existing TV bigger.
I think you can do that.
You can. It's just not. I mean, it's just not mainstream like. Normal, you could buy it at Best Buy. Like,
are Best Buy still open? Are they still around?
Yeah. I'm doing my best to keep them in business.
I feel like the concern, though, is just by tacking on another module, you're not actually increasing like the resolution. I mean,
technically,
I guess technically you are more pixels, but it's still not going to be. Our friend Mitch is going to be all, hey.
Yeah,
it's not the optimum view. You don't have 1 millisecond.
Yeah,
just recycling content is what they're doing.
Yeah,
that's all they're doing.
I'm just saying, in order to get that
they're recycling pixels.
That's true. 8K. Yeah.
Shrink it all down into that small screen.
You see this technology, and you look at things like 8K and stuff like that, and CES is coming up. Now I've been to CES before. It's wild. It's so crazy because some of these things are so ludicrous that they're never going to be mainstream. But they're really fun to look at. But like when I went, this was years and years ago that I went, like there was one 8K television that LG had made. A single set. And they had brought it to CES to show it off. This was when OLED was first really kind of being introduced in the really thin panels and stuff like that. And so CES is really fun if you like technology because you see things so early and some things will never make it. Like we still don't have mainstream 8K TVs. And that was probably 10 years ago that I went to CES, something like that, maybe 8, 9. But it's really fun to walk the floor and to go around and look at all this cool technology because just the stuff that, Intel always has a big thing. Dolby Atmos was just coming out at the time. So Dolby had this huge booth and this theater you could go into. I mean, just ridiculous stuff. But man, it's fun. And it's usually the precursor to some of the best TV discounts are happening right around now because CES is going to announce all the new models, and all these other things. And so it is a lot of fun. Since it's going to be virtual, there's no limits. Like you're going to be able to go see these things where traditionally CES is limited to retail and press. It's not a publicly accessible thing. So hey, look who's back.
Jetpack, we've missed you.
Jetpack. How are you, Jetpack? So I'm really curious about virtual CES and what it's going to look like and what they're going to announce. It should be a lot of fun. Won't be able to mess with things, but it's one of the, if you ever get the opportunity to go, even if you're not a technology person, like you just go. It's crazy. It's Vegas. That's really all you need to know. So yeah, it's gonna be it's fun. So I would definitely check out all the panels and stuff like that's gonna happen at CES. You're gonna get
that's at the Vegas Convention Center, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a hotel directly across the street from it. And the first time I was in Las Vegas, that's where we stayed. It's like a Holiday Inn Gardens or something. And I didn't realize how large Las Vegas was. So by the end of the first night, my feet were toast. There was, because us being stupid, didn't recognize the elevated train that you can get on right there as well. So yeah, that was dumb.
No, I've walked Vegas. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
Especially being like 3 or 4 blocks off the strip on top of that, like that's just not smart. It's a little sketchy that way.
Yeah,
it gets sketchy really fast. Yeah,
yeah. Like it's like
this
one
is cool.
block.
This is cool. This
One
is
block,
cool.
yeah.
We're gonna die.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, those things about Vegas, you hear all the things like you lose track of time in Vegas and all the other things, and like it's very true. Like, because if you go inside, a lot of those places are interconnected and things like that, so it's very easy to kind of lose a sense of where you are. Like, how do I get back to my hotel room? I don't even know.
It's all underground walkways. Yeah, you think you're in one building, you're actually 3 buildings over.
Yeah,
that was probably one of the cooler parts of it to me. Is just those co-owned casinos and hotels that are all interconnected underground and shopping like that. That was pretty neat to see. But yes, totally turned around. Had no idea where I was when I finally got street level.
Because you're not outside, so you have no sense of reference, and you don't realize how far you're walking. Yeah,
you're walking around, and you get outside. You're like, it's 4 a.m. When did this happen?
Now imagine what Coruscant would be like.
Yeah.
Right? Are you on level 30 or level 1? Like, which
can't see the sun. Yeah, you have no idea.
It's that whole pumping that pure oxygen in there keeps you awake. It's very interesting. It's one of those things. I could stomach Vegas for about 3 days.
Yeah, that's my max,
and that's about it.
We stayed a week, and I wanted wanted to never go again, and I haven't been back since.
Yeah. Oh, one other convention that's not happening at all, though, New York Toy Fair, which I always kind of look forward to. Never been to, but I always like seeing all the fun stuff that comes out of it.
All the announcements you get an early look.
Yeah. And so typically it takes place in February, but it has been postponed to preparing to launch the event in May, although those plans have been halted, and it will shift its focus to this is interesting to me, Toy Fair Dallas in October.
Oh, that's really late.
It is, but it still might be a lot of fun.
I'm sure it's fun, but the whole point is to find out these things before the release. You get reviews, you get insights. How am I going to find out about Nerf guns?
That's a good point.
I mean,
there will be digital opportunities.
Which one are you more likely to go to?
Neither.
Well, we're close to Dallas, so
is it open to the public? And is it something I can go to? Because I know New York was like invite only. It was,
we're going to dig into this, and we're going to see if perhaps we might look into press.
There you go
for this. So I'll
send you my qualifications for Nerf gun reviews.
Yeah. So I will look at this and see if perhaps we can pull this one off. Because here's the thing: everything else is canceled. There's no Denver Comic Con this year. Dallas, Fan Expo Dallas has been pushed to September, but that one's still happening.
No problem.
Hopefully at that point we are vaccinated up, if that is your jam, and can go there. So it will be October 5th through the 7th is Toy Fair Dallas. So we will rely on Earth 2 Church to look at the virtual Toy Fair announcements and let us know if there's anything cool worth buying.
I'll do that.
Our correspondent.
Yes. Something also worth buying that I wish I had the money for, as of this is 2 days ago. Hang on a second. I gotta check out I have to check out what the current bid for David Hasselhoff's kit is.
Oh yeah.
So although the articles do not line up with what it actually says, you could buy David Hasselhoff's personal kit Knight Rider car. And if the hammer price exceeds 25% of the reserve price, he will deliver it to you himself.
That's pretty cool.
You gotta admit, that's pretty cool.
Right now, the bid sits at $475,000, although the article had mentioned something about $975,000. That was a fraudulent bid. So we are sitting at $475,000 for David Hasselhoff's personal kit car.
So I've been watching the Goldbergs, and they just had an episode where they talked about kit, and it was amazing. During the Macy's Day Parade, and they had a whole kit-themed episode. Hasselhoff was very prominent.
Nice.
It's a great show.
The original
has it hit the reserve yet?
I believe so, because the original estimate was between $175,000 and $300,000, and it's at $475,000 right now.
Nice.
Oh, man.
So someone's gonna get a kit delivered by the Hoff himself.
Wow.
It's awesome.
How cool. I need him to dress up as Michael, though.
Oh, he's going to show up in a black
You got to look like the character that drove the car, man.
The Hoff is nothing if not a showman.
Yeah,
I mean,
This is true.
I mean, if not for that, he is nothing if not a showman. That is pretty amazing.
Man, when I was a kid, I had a Teddy Ruxpin. Do you guys remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a Teddy Ruxpin, and one of the books that I had was a Knight Rider book. And I listened to that thing all the time. It came with a book that you followed along. Man, I can remember sitting in my room just listening to it over and over and over again. I love Knight Rider so much.
So let me ask you a question about Teddy Ruxpin.
It's creepy.
I was going to say, when the batteries start to fail in Teddy Ruxpin, does he sound like a demon from the underworld?
For sure. Yeah. But to be fair, most of my daughter's toys sound that way when their batteries are dying as well. It's quite funny.
That's true. I guess they really, you really don't, they really can't really change it whenever his batteries are dying. It's like, well, you're going to sound like some sort of.
It's just a little creepy when the mouth is moving, though.
Oh. Oh
man, that is such a cool car. Golly, it's such a cool car.
It is. You know who else is creepy in some people's estimation? Our buddy Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
He's a little different.
He is a little different. So there was some I don't know if it was something having to do with the I'm trying to figure what it was. He just tweeted that people should start using Signal as a messaging app.
Yes.
Which is just it's a messaging app.
Does he own it?
He does not. No.
Oh, okay.
And because so Signal is operated by a nonprofit, which is interesting. And so when he says this, there's an unrelated company, Signal Advance, who is a publicly traded company whose stock went from 60 cents to $7.19.
Oh man.
So
why didn't I invest?
I know. Turn it, sell it, could have made a fortune.
527% growth on Thursday and 91% on Friday. That's insane.
Yep. So this has also happened before because when Twitter was waiting for its IPO, shares of Tweeter Home Entertainment rose more than 1,000%.
Oh man,
it's funny.
So we need to make a company that sounds really similar. Just hope something big like this happens again.
Yes, exactly. Like I don't even know. We'll figure something we won't get sued for, but. So yeah, it is on Friday. Tesla became the 5th most valuable public company in the U.S., surpassing Facebook. Wow. So he is also now the world's richest person
because their stock increased 800% in the market cap.
Here's the thing.
That's crazy.
Are we watching a supervillain really kind of
or a superhero? It's a villain that tries to save the planet with less emissions, colonizing other planets, getting it off this dying rock.
It's a thin line.
You had me until you said colonizing other planets.
We're killing this one. We need a backup plan.
I'm not sure the burning surface of Mars is really where we need to go.
We can't make it worse, probably.
Well,
what good are his flamethrowers going to do on that surface of Mars?
You know, the thing is, we could be witnessing the birth of Starfleet.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we already got the logo.
There's that too.
Elon Musk is going to be one of those people that literally will go down in history as like one of the greatest engineers, somewhat probably psychotic, because people who operate in that spectrum in their brain, they seem very different to a lot of us because their brain functions differently than ours does.
Not everyone can be the richest man in the world. You have to be different.
Exactly. And so you look at Elon, and he is who he is, and he wants to build crazy things. And guess what? He's got the money to do it now. Like, we're not talking like Bruce Wayne money. We're talking about more than Bruce Wayne money. You're talking about Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark money together.
I mean, you have to appreciate that even though he is kind of different in comparison to a lot of people, he developed a way to reuse a rocket in rapid turnaround time. Yeah. I mean, that's something that the U.S. government, with all of its knowledge and all of the intelligence, did not even think or was unable to create.
He takes innovation to industries that have traditionally been resistant to change. Automobile industry, space flight, they're usually very slow to progress. And he applied that California programmer rapid iteration methodology to that.
Yep.
I mean, you can't tell me that NASA didn't think about the idea of let's reuse it and we can fly more, but it's just like it just didn't happen.
The thing is they never had the money to try it and test it. They never invested in the space program.
And the lack of the regulation. You have a lot more being a private company that they can push and try things and not have as much red tape.
How long before he brings back an alien?
Well,
I mean, has he already?
The hard part.
Well, he'll actually tell us about it on Twitter. So
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Did I see that his car that he launched, the Tesla, did it reach the sun? No, it reached Mars. It reached something. I saw something here recently that it reached
Mars.
Maybe it was Mars.
So you're telling me that the aliens from Independence Day are rolling around in a Tesla now?
I mean, yeah,
they have our technology.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, man, this is like a class. Like, this is all perfectly modern for us. Like, man, this is a classic car from 300 years ago in our society.
Right? Maybe
electric car. Like, yeah, it's pretty interesting. That's the thing. Like, he'll be the reason we get back to space, and space traditionally has been the development of stuff for space has been what has driven technology. It's year over year over year. I mean, one of the greatest things is like you look at, some of the programming and stuff that went into some of those early space flights, and it is rooms of paper and all of this stuff. And now you can do it on this. Like it's, and so you've got these, like you said, the iterations of technology. He's just accelerating it.
Yes.
I did see now there he's also looking at or doing something with, they're catching the rockets instead of landing them now. He's trying to basically now I think either as an alternative or something else that they are catching them. If they fall over or whatever, I don't know if it causes enough damage. Whereas if they catch them, they can do whatever they need to do. If something goes, I don't know if maybe that is an alternative or,
something the system fails and they have to catch it.
Yeah, something like that. To Nick's point about the reusable rockets, like that's a huge cost. Like
huge cost savings.
Yeah. So
and environmentally, it's also not a lot of pollution debris in the ocean too.
On the subject
there's also not a lot of space trash.
On the subject of the car, yeah. Sam, is that link legit?
That link is legit. Someone's tracking. Well. Someone's updating where it roughly is at any given time, how far it's gone.
That's really been 2 years, 11 months since launch. That was 3 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, it felt like last summer.
February 6th, 2018.
Let's
awesome.
See here. Yeah.
It has exceeded its 36,000 mile warranty 39,995 times.
Oh my goodness! It's achieving a fuel economy of 11,427 miles per gallon. If the battery is still working, Starman, listen to Space Oddity 290,231 times, and Is There Life on Mars 391,074 times in the other ear.
3 months ago, it passed Mars, Nick.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of tough to say, with stuff going around and everything, but yeah, it's headed towards the sun at a pretty good pace.
Yeah.
It has traveled far enough to drive all of the world's roads, all of them 63 times.
Moving towards the sun at a speed of 11,290 miles per hour.
That's slightly faster than the DeLorean. So, technology. More technology. Sony's revealing details on new 360 reality audio speakers,
which I assume you'll get with your micro LED screen or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Premium wireless speakers. So yeah, they've been. I think I do like a solid wireless speaker, but like the Alexa or the Apple, the new Apple HomePods. Like I don't have one yet, but the new Apple HomePods are intriguing to me because at this point I know they're listening and I don't care.
Well, but the Sony speakers, they're the 360 speakers. So the intent was, it's surround sound in the kind of small container.
Yeah.
And apparently they've got some really, some proprietary technology behind it that's supposed to be really nice when something's designed for it. And they've got some music apparently, but not a whole lot else. So there's some technology going into it to try and simulate a more I guess 360 feeling, as they're saying.
Yeah, because I think with with the Apple HomePod and stuff, you can do that, but you have to place different HomePods around.
Yeah.
Like it will do that. It will do that, but you've got to place other ones. So this type of technology stuff is always fun because eventually it makes its way into things like headsets, and stuff like that. So what's more, you can wirelessly connect both speakers to select Sony Bravia TVs. I'm sure they are the most expensive Bravia TVs. So optimum audio performance. So here's the thing. I'm always like, I love speaker gadgetry and whatever. So
So how's it work, Cav? Is this the one where they're like bouncing it off the walls, so like it hits your ears at different sounds and like
it has to be. It has to be.
is.
It's got to be a version of Atmos.
I've been trying to do that with sound bars. That way, you're not buying multiple speakers and wire, and you just have it in one spot, and then it sounds like it's coming from everywhere.
And they pivot and tweak which way they go. The problem with any of that, Atmos included, really boils down to placement. Like placement matters so much when you're using sound reflection.
Yeah.
If they've cracked the code on how to put it in places that it's less like, oh, I can just put it anywhere in the room and it sounds like it's everywhere around me. That's pretty good.
Well, that's software. That's like the calibration. Like if you have it set up and angled properly, but if you can have it do a echo test basically where it can self-calibrate and know the dimensions of your room, the acoustics of it, and then fix all those settings on the fly.
Even those things are so difficult, like just because when you're calibrating sound for any room, like the reflection matters so much of where things are and what people
where you're sitting too.
And if you move your couch, you got to recalibrate, and the average user is not going to do that.
Well, I think if you make an app for it and you have it on your phone, you have another independent microphone that you can move around. And they've done the same thing with TV calibration too, where you can use the camera to know how it actually looks in your room and it sends signals back. And it's having an independent calibration device.
Yeah.
Don't trust people. Have robots do it for us.
Exactly. Trust the machines. Trust the machines. So yeah,
I have a question for Nick. Did you see the behind the scenes for those micro LED with the Mandalorian?
I watched it just a second ago. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much of that wasn't actual sets. The guy that he was selling Baby Yoda to, they had 2 pillars and a desk. All the background was just screens. I thought they were building sets, and that's how they were able to do it for so cheap. It was like there's no location, there's no travel, there's no set building. It's incredible.
The quality of it. I mean, that changes the whole game because think about how much budget Top Gun has. Think about how much budget Mission Impossible has and James Bond and all that. If you could do those things in that setting, man, you could think about the quality of movie you could make.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're using Unreal Engine, which is owned by Epic. So, Sam, buy more Epic games so we can fund more episodes of Mandalorian.
Yes, sir. Go.
Yes, indeed. I mean,
there's your advice for the day, friends.
Buy more Epic games. Support Epic. Just don't install the launcher or don't have it running because it makes your computer run hot. I don't know that they have fixed it yet completely, but partially.
Is that really a thing? I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah. So the Epic launcher, people figured out it's particularly bad in AMD machines. That it was raising the temperature of their CPUs because of what it was doing by like 10 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So yeah, like you said, you look at into your point about the sets and all that other stuff. That's why Mandalorian could conceivably keep filming during COVID because they weren't going anywhere.
Right. And why look quality on a TV show budget? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want that. The thing is, like, I just assume that the first version of that is the wall TV that Barney had in his apartment.
Exactly.
Here's the only question that I have about the Mandalorian. I need to know the costume designer that went to JCPenney's to buy that sweater for the sweater. I need to know that because that is so there. When he goes to the to find the Jedi in season 2. And he interacts with the Mon Calamari, and he's got a sweater. It's like a blue sweater. That same sweater is available at JCPenney.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
great cosplay. It's
Yeah.
so easy.
Yeah. I'm like, man, that really is a tight budget right there. You go buy a $30 sweater.
JCPenney's going out of business. You can get that for $10.
I got it on discount. It's like for whatever reason they didn't have costume, or the guy got his lunch on it, and there was some intern running around like, "Give me your sweater."
I think it's awesome, man. I mean, I think that is the epitome of just making a show that is worthwhile. Because like it took somebody finding that in the JCPenney catalog or Macy's catalog or wherever it was to be able, it's just that's awesome.
It is amazing.
Probably an entire JCPenney shut down, and they just shipped it all in bulk, and they have like some big closet somewhere with everything that's ever in a JCPenney's.
It's the official sweater of the Mandalorian.
Twice as that. Charge for $60 at Disney World.
Yeah, exactly right. They're like, we're gonna buy all your stock because you're selling your $5 because going out of business, and we're gonna sell them for $50.
Like, Star Wars.
Yep, and they're gonna be worn.
Battle damaged.
Exactly right. Because if Abercrombie and Fitch or whoever it is tells you anything, clothes with holes in them cost more.
And Cobra Kai. Do you have any distressed jeans? I have old jeans.
Oh man, a couple more things. Nick, you want to talk about Godzilla vs Kong or Zack Snyder and Army of the Dead?
I don't care. Either one. Both. I'll tell you what, let's do both.
Gotcha.
Oh, talk about both. Just one up it.
So Zack Snyder
Kong.
Godzilla vs Kong. Interesting. I feel like that's a recycled movie.
Thanks, Mitch. So Godzilla vs Kong, there was because HBO Max said we're putting everything on streaming.
Right.
They didn't talk to everybody before they said that.
They didn't talk to anybody before they said it. And to that point, I still have not finished Wonder Woman. And
it's really good.
They have basically said it's going to put its entire 2021 slate on HBO Max in theaters at the same time. However, like you said, they didn't talk to Legendary, and they're like, "You're not putting Godzilla vs Kong out on HBO Max. You can forget it."
They had vetoed a deal with Netflix. Netflix offered to buy Godzilla vs Kong for like millions and millions of dollars, and Warner Brothers had like a 30% stake, and they're like, "Nope, we have veto power. So, now this is going to our service, and we didn't ask you, and we lost you $400 million or something."
So there's a lot to this because it's Godzilla vs Kong. It's also for Dune as well, and some people are not very happy about any of these things. But yeah, it's the Godzilla. It says Legendary was considered the likeliest of Warner's financing partners to pursue litigation following the studio's surprise decision. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. It financed 75% of Godzilla and was prepared to accept a $225 million plus deal from Netflix, and Warner Brothers blocked the deal.
Yeah.
So, this is how all this plays out is really going to kind of.
Are they suing yet?
I'm sure they're in the middle of it right now. They're probably trying to.
It's like 2 months ago. Come on.
I don't know. It's because you also look at. They basically said Legendary can argue that Warner Media was self-dealing, essentially.
They were, yeah.
And but Netflix's November bid effectively set the price for Godzilla, simplifying that negotiation. Legendary is still negotiating with the talent on Godzilla, but that did not expect to derail a deal. It will keep its May 21st release date in theaters in IMAX and HBO Max. Because like you look at Wonder Woman, they had to pay Patty Jenkins and everybody, like they had to pay them like $10 million to release it because a lot of their back end deals have to do with box office.
Well, they were trying to keep them happy so they could make Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah,
and
which
now
they've already done it. Yeah.
Every other movie studio, they're saying, "Hey, where's our $10 million?" And they're not getting it. James Gunn and Suicide Squad, all of the others are saying, "Hey, we're not getting the same payout." They set the bar for Wonder Woman, but everyone else is kind of getting gypped because same thing. The contracts for the cut of the box office, and they're not getting payouts.
I mean, here's the thing. I bet you that every movie contract, every actor contract from now until the end of time is going to have new streaming clauses in it.
Yeah.
For stuff like this, for sure.
Yeah.
And so you take Zack Snyder, and he took Army of the Dead, and he's taking it to Netflix and turning it into a franchise, including a 4-hour animated prequel series. Zack Snyder.
It's going to be awesome on Netflix.
Yep, 2021. So Zack Snyder's been living at Warner Brothers forever. 2021, he brings Army of the Dead for as part of his deal with Netflix. He said Army of the Dead this is from the IndieWire. Army of the Dead sat in development of hell at Warner Brothers for over 10 years. Netflix swooped in and purchased the distribution rights to get the film into production. Snyder says WB didn't want to spend that kind of money on a zombie movie, or they just didn't take it that seriously. In an interview at Entertainment Weekly, he's just like, look, this is more than a zombie movie, but it fizzled out. But he did the remake of Dawn of the Dead in 2004. So that's a Zack Snyder also. So this is not his first foray into zombie movies.
That's interesting. He was really tight with. Are they bringing the Justice League to HBO Max? I thought they were all tight because of that.
I don't know. So, but actually, Dawn of the Dead was his directorial debut. I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize he was a director.
Yeah, he said they were sitting in a meeting with Netflix talking about some of the scripts he was working on, and I mentioned the idea to the head of Netflix. He's like, "That is the movie. Go write that movie. Let's make it." He's like, "Go write it tomorrow, and we'll shoot it in a week." That's what Netflix told him. Netflix loves Snyder's idea so much it's expanding Army of the Dead into a full-blown franchise. The streamers ordered a 4-hour animated prequel series that dives into the origin of the plague that created the zombie epidemic. Snyder cracked the idea for the animated prequel series, which is similar, because we're getting an animated prequel for Witcher also. So that's like Netflix is like, look, we've got a lot of story to tell. We don't necessarily need to go into all of it like with live action. Let's animate the origin parts and some of the other part, and then let's bring it back, because some of the animated stuff that Netflix has done has also been pretty amazing. You look at like Castlevania and stuff like that, and so I heard the Greek mythology one is like Blood of Zeus or something is also really good. I haven't watched it. So there you go. Zack Snyder and Netflix. So let's see. What else? You want to talk about games? There's so many games.
Yeah, let's go for it.
There's a little bit of games.
Sam, you want to talk about Scott Pilgrim?
I mean, yeah, Scott Pilgrim's coming back. Woohoo!
Tomorrow?
There you have it, folks.
The reason it's relevant this week is they've been talking about the physical editions that are going to be out there. There's going to be a couple of different options, but I'm really excited because apparently Limited Run Games is doing I think they call it a KO edition, which has just all the amazing goodies you'd like, soundtrack, art book, all kinds of random overworld map.
I was trying to figure out if that was a map or some sort of random Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, it looks amazing, and I am so excited. Right now, as far as physical copies, because of course we really push the physical copies. Looks like PS4 and Switch are the ones that are going to be available immediately, and they're probably going to have Xbox One eventually. Yeah, not hearing anything about a physical PC, but I'm not surprised about that.
Yes, indeed. No, January 14th, 5 days from now.
Yeah, so I'm going to get every single copy just in case. If my Switch goes out, I need to get a PS4. If my PS4 goes out, I need an Xbox One. Got to be prepared for anything.
That's right.
You don't want them to take it away from you again.
Oh my goodness! Don't get me started.
I was going to say,
Rage.
You're poking the rage buffalo.
Not smart. Not smart.
I mean, I know that I loved the game when it came out. I played so much of it, and it's going to be a little bit weird playing it again. The soundtrack was, I think, one of the highlights for me. The art style really ticks all my boxes. But I worry a lot of people probably won't click with it as much as I do, but I don't care. It's still 2021 game of the year for me.
He's calling it. He's calling it
now.
already.
We're a weekend. I'm calling it.
Calling
it. Don't have to do anything else. Just give me that game and I'll be happy.
Yeah, if you are a Madden fan and sports games are more your jam, there's now a SpongeBob SquarePants themed field. You can live out your dreams playing football in a virtual Bikini Bottom. So
Perfect.
It is only available in the Madden arcade style, the yard mode. It will offer challenges to get you to unlock other Nickelodeon-themed content and gears inspired by the famous Yellow Sponge himself. This is from The Verve.
Did anybody watch the video?
I have not watched the video.
Basically, it's like uniforms that are really brightly colored. I think there's some like
so it's a reskin. They're just recycling content. Is that?
I mean, I wouldn't say recycling the content so much as giving it a new paint job.
Gotcha.
Which is same.
That looks hilarious, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it really does. It really does look funny.
As a Madden fan, I guess I can't say that. As someone who knows Madden fans, I'm really curious how big of a, acceptance this is going to get, and how many people you're going to see like on Twitch. Oh yeah,
we're playing
in Bikini Bottom as the Chiefs win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Patrick Star helmets.
I'm not a super big fan of that game, but it's okay.
Oh, other games. The Steam client beta just added a bunch of support for Xbox controllers. What is happening here?
I mean, there's already a certain amount of support, but I believe it's adding support for like the newer versions and the Elite controllers and the extra sticks.
The Xbox Series and the Elite, and just extra connecting features, metrics on it, which is just good. That's the great thing about PCs. You can use whatever input mechanism you want. They've always had support for PlayStation, Xbox, off-brand mouse, keyboard. So
this is for all the new stuff, because really, I mean, I really like the new Xbox controller, the Series X edition, whatever you want to call them. The new version of the controllers are they're really nice. It's just a good kind of step up upgrade from the original Xbox controller. So far, no stick drift on mine. So because that is a thing.
Yeah, and I think it also raises the limit on the number of controllers you can have activated at a time.
Or paired, like a pair history.
Yeah. Yep. So that way, if you've got a kind of a few of them you swap out, you'll be prepared.
Excellent.
I'm still holding out for rechargeable built-in Xbox controllers.
Yeah.
My PlayStation 1 does that, and it's fantastic. It's always charged, always ready to go. I was reading two different articles. They were saying that they aren't doing it for Xbox because they want greater accessibility if people want to buy a aftermarket third battery pack or just use AA's.
And they have a deal with Duracell.
That's not the reason why, though. The reason Duracell is that, it's not why we're exclusive. We're just bundling in Duracells, but it's not the cost. I was confused.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a certain amount of tinfoil hat that I think can go into that, though.
Yeah. The official statement was it's not related. But
here's what it is. Microsoft just went and bought like one of those giant storage lockers, and it was full of Duracell batteries, and they're still trying to get rid of them.
Still,
like that's what it is.
2 generations of PlayStation has the rechargeable, and it's really nice, and it's so easy.
I hear that. I get the point of the Microsoft. Like I much prefer the fact that I can throw a pair of AA's in there. I've got rechargeable batteries on mine.
I do too, but they die all the time still, and I hate dying mid-game. I wish whenever I'm done playing, I could just plug in one of the USB cables I have here and then walk away from it.
Yeah,
I've died a lot of times from dead batteries. It's not good.
My old PS3 controller doesn't hold charge anymore, and I can't replace the batteries, so I'm just stuck.
Yeah.
So
that is the downside. You're right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Not that my PS3 is still around, but you know.
He's like, sometimes I just like to turn it on and see the lights flash. Like,
that's funny.
Just saying, if I could, use that with the PC, it'd be great.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Somewhat, maybe.
Speaking of PlayStation, there is a retailer who appeared to be doing custom black PS5s.
Yeah.
They are now canceling all orders, issuing full refunds after following what it calls credible threats to our safety.
What?
This is from Super
I
5.
don't get this. What was the
I don't
threat?
either. It just basically says, last night our team began receiving credible threats to their safety. We take these threats seriously. We aren't willing to risk the safety and well-being of our team or the potential impact this would bring to delivering your order. All existing orders will be canceled and fully refunded in the coming days. You will receive a notification when this happens. When we intended this to be a fun way to celebrate a shared nostalgia, as it turns out, there are people out there who are willing to interfere with that. If we determine it's safe to try again, we will.
And just so you know, that was not the article when that link was put into the agenda. The article was, hey, there's a retailer selling these really cool retro skins for the looks for the PS5s.
Yeah.
And then
there you go.
3 hours ago is when it was updated to say, hey, by the way, these are all canceled.
I had seen there was another company who was doing like custom skins for them because Gathalion wanted a wood grain for his to go in his studio or whatever. And Sony basically threw a cease and desist on it.
Yeah.
So because they copyright or whatever the physical form or whatever of a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing customized whatever, now I don't know if they were doing I don't know if they were manufacturing like plates because you can like take it apart and replace the plates and that, or if it was just a full skin or whatever it was. But I know that they had they were doing that. But here's the thing, like I'm with Nick. I don't understand. Why would you threaten somebody because you're making a black PlayStation?
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. There has to be more to the story, or they got hit with the cease and desist, and it makes more sense to, fib. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
The cease and desist made sense. That's what I was expecting when you started talking.
Yeah. Because as I read that, I was like, who in the world would threaten that? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, in a world that doesn't make sense.
Dumb.
In a world where people are dumb and they don't make sense, I'm just going to read this article title. I haven't even read the article yet. I literally posted this in the agenda based on the title alone. Man arrested for fraud after forging popsicle sticks to win Pokemon cards.
He forged 25 winning sticks and mailed them to the company that I guess was running it, and in hopes of receiving 25 rare Zarud V cards. And instead, he got a warrant for his arrest following a tip-off from the ice cream company on the suspected fraud.
Tip off from the ice cream company.
Yeah, I love the fact
you had man inside.
In order to get the card, you had to eat the ice cream from that company.
Yeah.
And that's how it was, like the Willy Wonka hunt, basically.
Yeah.
And so this guy thought, well, I'll just forge the sticks and it won't matter. And there's no way that they can tell, and he was wrong.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I like the idea of a forged popsicle stick.
My question is, though, did they show you an example of what it was, or did he just presume he knew?
Well, you can. So you apparently, according to this article, you can buy you can buy winning popsicle sticks at auction for about $330 some odd. So maybe he bought one.
Maybe.
And here's the thing, but did he not think about this? This is the point about people being stupid. Like, I'm going to send 25 sticks in, and they're all going to, I assume they're all going to ship to the same place, to the same person. Like, and that's not going to raise, like, suspicion at all.
And if people had already found the sticks, then you have to assume that they're accounted for.
You make 20, you get 40 back.
Yeah. So, and now here's the thing. Part of this is certainly driven by the fact that the Pokemon card market is absolutely bananas right now.
It's out of control.
Oh,
yeah.
It is out of control. A Gem Mint 10 Charizard recently sold for over $200,000, and it has gone up since then. There are people breaking boxes of like original, like base set 1, like the original base set 1 boxes. And when they're doing these box breaks, and they're about $11,000 to $12,000 per pack, and there's 20 packs per box. So yeah, it's It is
So they're
absolutely
spending
going
crazy
into
money just to open them up and hope to make more money.
Yep. Because if you land the right car, I mean, there are a handful of cars that are $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 cars and even higher, $100,000, $200,000 cars, but it really goes down to the grade also, just like with comic books. Like Heritage has a Killing Joke 9.9 right now, which is exceedingly rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like those cards have to be, gem mint, whatever. And here's the thing, when they were made like in the 90s, like stuff is not always cut straight and all this other stuff. Like there's a lot of things that go into it that can really ruin your day.
Yeah. Holy cow. Especially if you think you have a $30,000 card and it's really a $3 card.
Yeah, you get it back and it's like a gem mint.
Yeah.
Or not even a gem mint, it's like a 7.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot
crazy, man.
And I'm sure that is certainly driving part of like, oh, I need to get this car because I'm going to hang on to it in 10 years. It's going to be worth whatever. Like, there's people making questionable decisions right now. Like, if you go to Walmart right now, like, and this is also with the sports card thing, you go to Walmart right now, like where all the Pokemon cards and stuff gone, it looks like a tornado ran through there. There's nothing. But there's even not anything crazy like valuable in newer sets right now. There's a few cards that are $300-$400, but nothing like $10,000. The hype is real, like now for sure.
Well, and I mean that's just and what I noticed about the Funko Pop, kind of along that same line. Like some of those markets are crazy right now too. Certain figures are they're out of this world. Like the Grievous that I have, I would have never thought it'd be worth that much money.
Yeah,
didn't buy.
Is that a Walgreens exclusive?
Yeah. 100% did not walk into buying that thinking, all right, this will be worth some money down the road. I bought it because like, all right, that's awesome. It's at Walgreens. It's like $9, and this is cool. Yeah. And yeah, no, it's significantly increased in price, which blew my mind. So now some of them lost value. So the $8 I spent, I've lost money, but that's okay. It's just, it's so volatile and so weird, just things you don't think about.
I wonder if you got a part of it's like nobody can really like you can't go to cons to buy like it's one of those things. Like I want to buy some stuff, whatever, and people just keep driving up the price. I mean, the sports card market right now. I was talking to Tattoo about it. Is absolutely it's stupid, and mainly because also like the vendors, the manufacturers of the cards, they know this. But like you can't barely buy a box of football cards for less than like $200 or $300 now. When it used to be, you should be able to get one for like $100, $120. And it's just crazy. The demand is so high that it keeps driving up the price. So speaking of high demand, Nintendo Switch still in high demand. I see some occasionally floating around, mainly the Animal Crossing bundle. Like I rarely see the regular Switch, but I tend to see the Animal Crossing bundle quite a bit.
It's because there's a lot of reading in Animal Crossing.
Nintendo Switch has now sold more units than the Nintendo 3DS. As of December 26th, they have sold an estimated 76,285,948 units.
Well, and what was that thing that at one point there was more Zelda games sold than Switches made? Like, how did that even happen?
Well, everybody was real excited. Consoles were in short demand. I mean, Breath of the Wild is amazing.
Yeah, but it's not like they have like a Switch Hero or something that you can plug into your SNES and play,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that thing in Breath of the Wild also does not go on sale that often. And so when it does go on sale around Black Friday or whatever, like, I'm going to get a Switch eventually. I want Breath of the Wild. I'm going to spend $30 on it instead of $60.
Yeah.
And so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and it was around the holidays, I'd imagine, family members getting presents for kids, assuming they've got a Switch, and turns out they couldn't get one.
Yeah.
Probably a really sad kid, but
here are all these Switch games. I'm sorry you don't have a Switch.
It'll come next year.
I bought a lot of Switch games before I owned my Switch. I was playing it too. And like you said, you see these rare sales that are 30 to 40, and like, oh, save me $20 3 months down the road.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Something that you can also spend a whole lot of money on is dice, Nick.
I'm telling you, man. I am gonna get this family playing a dice-related tabletop game at some point.
Nick, you want to
If it's the last thing that I do,
So your dice wall.
It's my dice wall. That's all dice. I don't have a zoom. Those are all dice.
Wow.
Dice wall.
Dice wall.
Yeah, tabletop gaming is just, it's been blowing up because, hey, everyone's stuck at home.
Yeah.
And so you get, Nick, I mean, part of the dice you have really is
all of them.
All of it. It's a really funny story.
Yeah. The only ones that are not that way are the ones from Denver and Dallas. Okay. Like the ones that are specific to that. Those are the only ones that are not part of what you're about to say.
Yeah. One of the most entertaining things in some of the conventions is the basically bucket o' dice or pool o' dice or whatever of dice where you just put a
unicorn
cup in.
Dice.
I have that dice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I bought two.
Where you basically get a big cup and you scoop it in, and as long as you can put the lid on it, you spend $20 for all those dice, and you have no idea what dice you got.
That's what we did at PAX for Nick.
Yep, cup o' dice.
Yeah.
And so
there you go.
There it is, the matching Denver die.
Denver dice, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you look at the tabletop, kind of gaming world right now. Miniatures are I've got a couple of friends who paint miniatures like crazy as well.
Miniatures, yeah.
And so it's kind of a cool thing. Like you look at some of the crowdfunding for some of these games that happened during some of that stuff. Like there's games that crowdfunded $12 million.
Yeah.
Like on Kickstarter, $4 million, $5 million. Like there's, and a lot of stuff, obviously there's tabletop and stuff online as well. I mean, you also got to look at some of the popularity increase, certainly that Nick has talked about a lot with, oh wow, I just blanked. Help me.
Critical Role.
Thank you. And so,
I mean, that's the whole reason I trolled Joni is because she makes fun of me for watching people play D&D. Like, and I get it because for the longest time I didn't understand it. And I was like, "Oh, that's just weird. Why would you want to do that?" But like that was as a kid. But then as an adult, and I started kind of learning about it. I'm like, man, it's pretty immersive, and you're with your friends or your family. And for me, it looks like a nice way, kind of how we play video games. Like we play video games to kind of escape what's going on, and we interact with our friends in a way that is fun for us. It's the same idea, And for me, part of the reason I started trolling her, like I said, was just because she was making fun of me. And so I'm like, well, fine, I'm just going to prove you wrong. I'm going to buy you dice every chance I get. And $20 for 50 dice, not bad. So I think the one in Denver, I think the one in Denver, wherever we were, I think I ended up with like 5 full sets of dice for D&D. So there you go. But it's a game I've never played, so for me it's fascinating to try to learn and pick up. And I don't even know where to start necessarily, but at some point I hope to have a game that I can play,
I'll run you a game.
There you go.
We can run an online game, entirely serious.
Yeah.
Critical Role is a great place to start because I was missing D&D. I was missing RPGs. I started watching them play, and it's narrative storytelling, it's improv, it's entertaining. And that encouraged me to run my own games and start DMing, and it's a great way to soft learn the rules. So I had my friends, I was like, hey, watch 10 minutes of this episode of Crit Role, and then we're going to play next week. And I did all the characters, everything for them. You watch it's entertaining, but you learn by watching how they play,
right?
The turn mechanics and everything, and it's very simple. You just kind of say what you want to do.
But I think for me watching it, and I realize they're using D&D Beyond. We're not affiliated with them.
They're not in the first one.
Yeah. They're using that, right? But they have a list of all of their things that they can cast, and it's that part is still overwhelming to me, but I find it absolutely fascinating. Yeah,
a lot of homework.
It is, and I think that's the hardest thing.
So they have the D&D. in D&D, the starter set and the essential set, they have like pre-generated character sheets that start you off at level 1, and they make everything for you. So that's what I did with my players. I was like, hey, here's a sheet. Here's everything you need to know. You don't have to spend an hour making a character, reading the rule book, rolling all these stats. You could just run and play. And then as you level up, things get more complicated. You add in better weapons, magic items, and spells. But there's even simpler systems. If you don't want to do D&D, there's a lot of RPGs that have like one-page rule books. That it's more improv-based and it's more narrative-based and less rolling, less math. That's still social. So I do 2 or 3 online games a week with various groups of friends, all through Discord. And it's a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Here's what I know. I always cast Fireball at whatever's in front of me. Like
Eldritch Blast.
I mean, even if it's one of my same party, like I'm sorry you're in front of me.
You're toast.
You are now a running Fireball.
No, and like the closest I ever got to it was Hero Quest, and I only had one friend that knew how to play Hero Quest. My parents had no desire to play Hero Quest with me. They bought it for me for Christmas because I asked for it. You know what I mean? Like, I remember the commercial for Hero Quest. So I know that, like, within me, I have the interest to play it. It's just a matter of the knowledge and someone else knowing how. So I may have to get with you on that one, Brandon.
And there's Star Wars RPGs I've done. Like I have a Star Trek game on Monday. There's whatever era, whatever science, fantasy, sci-fi you want to do. I play one RPG where we play as little mushroom people. It's kind of like the Smurfs. Like you're like little and you're running around with like a sword made out of comb or whatever. Some weird systems out there. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as you mentioned, you play, obviously a lot with online and stuff like that. It'll be interesting when the world kind of hopefully gets back to relatively normal, like coming together to be able to play with friends and stuff like that. And certainly would be a lot of fun to get everybody together to do those things.
For sure.
And we can put Brandon on an iPad if he can't make the trip. Like,
I don't know about you guys, but I personally have enjoyed the I have to slow down. I've personally enjoyed that. Like, I'm more hesitant to go do things given the circumstances in the world, which has forced me to have to slow down.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I sleep so much now. It's awesome.
Yeah. You do what?
I sleep a lot. I sleep in. I take naps. I used to go places to do things. Now I just sleep. It's great.
You're speaking a foreign language. I don't know what that word means. What does that mean? Because I went to bed at like 9:45 last night, and I was up at 6:30 this morning.
I slept until like 9 today.
Someone punching me in the back going, "Is it morning yet?" And I go, "No, go back to bed." And then she slammed her door.
It's light outside. That's the lamp.
Then she slammed her door, and I was like, "Well, now I can't go back to sleep because you slammed your door. So I'm just gonna lay here until you come back in and bother me." So I was almost asleep, and then poke.
I have spent 3 months making the most complicated dice tray tower rolling box. I'll post pictures of it eventually, but that's how into dice I've been getting into. It's multi-towered. It's all held together with magnets. It's going to be beautiful. It's all made out of walnut.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Hopefully not black walnut.
No, regular walnut.
That's
Don't
good.
send me hate mail.
Yes. Yeah. Black walnut's highly toxic, I learned this week. Not me personally, but one of my friends who also works with wood or whatever and decided to basically put himself almost in the hospital.
Well, you always want to use a respirator because you don't know.
Yeah.
Different allergies, different people react to different wood grains. You always want to not breathe that stuff in, wash your hands. Just be careful with it. A lot of the woods are not toxic or can be allergic.
Because the trees are going to kill us at some point.
Brandon's YouTube channel.
I made that mistake whenever I was making some Christmas gifts because I made 2 cutting boards for my dad and my father-in-law, and they were exotic hardwood, and I had to just square them up, and I was in a hurry, and I went, like, okay, I'm all right. And then the second time around, I was like, yep, I can feel that all in here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just all the sawdust kind of blew back on me, and I could feel it, but nothing happened.
Did you say Brandon's YouTube channel, Sam? Sorry.
I did.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a secret YouTube channel.
A secret?
Oh, apparently it's a secret one. I can't talk about it. Okay.
Nice.
Sometimes
let's just talk about it right now.
Woodworking.
Nobody's watching. Let's talk about it right now.
I have a YouTube channel. I've been making Every Tuesday, I post a terrible video. It's not edited. It doesn't have the production value of the show. And it ranges from anything to cat videos to carpentry. I have baking videos.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Yeah, sometimes it's just videos of cows. I don't know. It's just anything. But every Tuesday, and unless I don't, it's a video. So,
It's released every Tuesday, unless I just don't feel like it.
Unless it's
I don't think I've done any in the last like 3 weeks. I have a couple in my head I've been meaning to set up, but I haven't done it. I will do a video on my dice box. I have a couple planned for that. It's called Terrible Tuesdays. You can search for it on YouTube. It's very difficult to find. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing.
Do you find it hard to record YouTube videos?
This is the whole reason I made this was I knew if I had to put in work and do editing and do any kind of computer processing, I wouldn't do it. I'd never get around to it. So my goal was, 30-second to 2-minute videos. I just record something and then just post it. It's all done on my camera phone, and there's no processing work to try to keep it as minimum as possible so I actually record them. And sometimes I'll do like 5 or 6 a week, and I'll just schedule them for the next couple months. And then sometimes I won't do anything at all. So it depends on my mood, depends on how 2020 is treating me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really easy to record them. I have good inspiration. Sometimes I just don't do anything for 6 months. So.
Well, I just subscribed, so we're there.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
woodworking one.
I believe I just found one, and you appear to be in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Bathroom.
That's I think the first one that comes up. I'm a little concerned.
They're all concerning. They're all really difficult to know what they're about because I take movie titles and then I substitute or book titles and I substitute the words "terrible" and Tuesday randomly in the title.
Terrible Tuesday with Vengeance.
That was Die Hard with a Vengeance. See?
Yeah, I got it.
They're really.
Terrible. Yeah.
There's a lot of Fast and Furious titles in there. There's a lot of Die Hard titles. A lot of Star Wars. So they're not very well named. It's hard to tell what they're about. I don't do descriptions. I don't do any work for this. That's the point. Taking away.
A couple have had a little bit of editing.
Sam has done a little bit of editing for some of my videos. Thank you, Sam.
The reason I asked if you found it hard was because Harper has been on me to do a video.
How I Met Your Terrible
YouTube channel.
Yeah, nothing else. The titles are definitely worthwhile.
Sam is the executive producer of my channel. He made me an intro video. It's in there somewhere. He did make he made half of an intro video.
Yeah, I was gonna say, started to make one and then took the Terrible Tuesday approach and just quit.
And I published it anyway because that's what the show's about.
Didn't think he'd post it. He did.
Did you see that, Sam? Did you know I posted it?
I did not.
It was a couple weeks or months ago. I can't remember. I can find you a link if I try.
But yeah, the woodworking ones were the ones relevant to the conversation.
There are some
you might want to
really
watch.
I've made some woodworking videos for other contests. I've actually won tools from it.
Right.
Which is pretty. Recycle those and publish them to Terrible Tuesday anyway. So those are the ones that are the most coherent. Now I got to film more videos, Sam.
We'll figure something out.
Yes, indeed. All right, we got anything else? I never did get around to cleaning my car last week.
It's gonna get cold soon because it's getting cold here, so we'll get cold there in about a day or two.
Yeah, I need to wash ours this weekend. Vacuum them.
I haven't washed the outside of my car in over 3 years.
I mean,
my previous vehicle, I did not do that.
Why should I wash the outside of my car? What's the point? Explain this to me.
It protects the value of the car to some degree.
My car doesn't have value. It's from
hey, Brandon, how old's your car?
It's from 2003. It's from 2003.
So how much value does a 2003 vehicle, regardless of make, have? Unless it's owned by David Hasselhoff.
It depends. I don't know. If it's a Honda, I guarantee it's triple the price that it was you paid for it. It's ridiculous.
Really? Are they going up?
Oh, yeah, because things are discontinued. Yeah. There was a 99 Civic SI with 20,000 original miles on it. Now, granted, that's incredibly low miles for a 20-year-old car. $50,000 is what it sold for.
Oh, wow.
It's a $16,000. It was a $16,000 car when you bought it brand new in 2000.
What about 2003 Saturn?
so I don't know how many miles are on it.
With a
It's
broken
easily
odometer.
it's 0 miles then.
Zero miles. An unbelievably low number of miles.
It is unbelievably low because I had to replace one of the computers and it just wiped out the odometer. So I started at 0. So it's like 7,000.
There you go. 7,000 miles. 2001, 7,000 miles. Yeah,
You can check
Sounds
the odometer.
$70,000.
I could never sell this car.
No, the destruction of that car should be one of your Terrible Tuesday videos. Like when the time comes, you should like take it and have it crushed and video it.
There you go.
Actually, pretty sweet.
All about content.
Episode 3, Revenge of the Tuesdays.
Yeah. All right, gang. Well, anything else we want to talk about?
I have
Before
one
we
thing
go-
for Sam. December 8th. It's called Last Week Tuesday Night.
Thank you.
That was the intro video you made.
Oh boy.
So,
And I made that a long time ago.
You did. I just published it, so I'll send you a link to it.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. I'll try to get something good for you this time.
It's great. I really like it.
It's lazy and half done. It's perfect.
Perfect.
Now, I don't know that there's anything else, but Brandon, I'm impressed.
What? By what? My dice wall?
Your workshop, your pegboard design here.
Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
happy with my workshop.
Yeah,
I'll make you a video, Nick, going over all my dice.
there you go.
There.
There you
In
go.
grand detail. If that video isn't at least 3 hours long, with an intermission, like
Video?
the dice video,
Oh,
going
yeah.
over every day.
There's a video where I just grate cheese for 8 minutes. I'm not even kidding. The only reason the video stopped is my phone ran out of battery or storage or something.
Is that what is that ASMR or whatever? Is that what that is?
Grating cheese.
That was the one where you were making the cheesy biscuits or whatever?
One of
Or...
my cookie videos, it turned into a 3-part series because I ran into like a video link cap, and I ran into like a storage cap, and yeah.
That's funny.
That was amazing. But yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff indeed. There was an article about Risk of Rain, and for whatever reason I don't have it.
Yeah, it's
It
just
has
that
more
they've
than
reached
3 million players.
a lot of players.
Yeah, a lot of players. A lot of people are liking it. 2 of those are me and Sam.
Yeah.
One day will be Cav.
Yeah, I bought it. I installed it. I haven't played it yet.
You gotta
We
play
are
it with
playing
us.
it a lot.
Yep.
I don't
Well,
know. I'm afraid of the
this
rage
week-
buffalo.
They're
but
terrifying. You hear them before you see them. You don't know where they're at. But you hear them coming.
you do. It's true. Brandon, what you been playing this week?
This week, you know the answer to this. I've been
I
playing
do.
one of
I'm leading you.
Sam's picks. Slay the Spire. It's a roguelite card deck building game. Very fun. Very difficult to beat. It's a little bit like Gilded Engineering, but it has a little bit more of a link to it. So there's a little bit more, your builds have consequences, and there's a little bit more continuity. And they have daily challenges, which they give you like a random set of modifiers and buffs and debuffs to play through. And there's like a high scoreboard, and that's what I've been doing every day, is just playing that. Sometimes it makes it a lot easier, and sometimes it makes it a lot harder, but it's been a lot of fun. So check it out, Slay the Spire.
I think it's on Game Pass if anybody's still got that.
Nice.
What have you been playing this week, Sam?
Let's Slay the Spire. I've had a terrible week at work, so I haven't been doing a whole lot. I got home real late the other night, and you were like, "Hey, you should do the daily run for Slay the Spire." And I was like, "Oh, let's load up Slay the Spire." And I realized I was about halfway through a run with some character that I didn't even realize I was doing, and apparently I'd saved my spot and just hadn't come back to it.
Yeah.
And I was halfway through the final level, and this is a game I've put like 70 hours into, and I've only beat it once. And apparently, I was just that close to beating it the second time, and so I stayed up to like midnight and finally did it, and I was very excited because there's 3 different characters by default. I think you unlock a 4th, and so now I've completed it with 2, working on number 3.
What are you playing tomorrow, Sam?
Probably Risk of Rain. I don't know. We'll talk
Cav,
about that.
what are you playing tomorrow?
Well, I don't know actually. I have dinosaurs to tend to. I have
Dinosaurs are important.
it's Iron Banana Week in Destiny, but I'm done with that. Thank goodness. It was rough, man.
Yeah.
This Iron Banana was a little. It was a little tougher than normal. They've got bounties, just like your daily challenges. They've got bounties you got to go through, and this bounty set was a little challenging in one that it was. You have to kill somebody, but you have to have help doing it. Like you have to have an assist from another teammate. And really all it is people running around trying to steal each other's kills.
That one backfired.
And so that one took a while to get done, but it's just the grind to level cap. Like that's just what we're doing. They did open a little more content up this week with High Celebrant and whatever. So we went through and did that, although that mission is kind of bugged. We figured out how to work around that. But so yeah, just doing that, and yeah, haven't had a whole lot. This, I was at work this week for a full week for the first time since before the holidays. So yeah, it's been a bit of a week. Nick, what have you been playing this week? Among Us?
I've been playing Life.
Life.
I've been playing Life.
Which
Don't
is basically
catch
Among Us.
COVID. That's my game. That
Don't
is my
catch
game.
COVID.
Yeah. Now we played a little bit of Among Us last night, but that was my first time playing it.
That was your first time?
Yeah.
Oh man. We have to get a group together.
I hope to play Destiny and play Apex Legends this weekend, but we'll just have to see. So what I find ends up happening is I wake up with the plan to play games, and then I get an idea to do something, or something has to get done, and then next thing I know, it's 8:00 at night, and I've not done the thing I woke up wanting to do. So it's just part of it.
I get that.
Yeah. But I've already cleaned the bathrooms, so I'm good there. I don't have to do that. But yeah, I don't know.
Nice. And at some point, I'm going to start Cyberpunk at some point. I just for an investment of time, as I know that's going to take. Like I have to step into it, realizing that if it is as immersive as I fear that it is, and it is a legitimate fear, that like I need to be prepared and to sink a lot of time into it. And so
fix it.
Too many other shiny things like Nick's getting in my way. Like I'm gonna do this. Well, it's Iron Banana this week. It's whatever. Like so, at some point I will get there, but when I do not yet know. So
yeah, I don't know. And I look at all this stuff in the screen behind me, and I'm like, that drives me nuts. Like I gotta do something about that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Put it in boxes and hide it in Sam's house. He won't notice.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'll play. Is this Nick's box or Sam's box?
What's in the box?
Because the content will be relatively similar. Like you'll pull out one item. Is this Sam's or is this Nick's?
That's true.
True.
I mean, they're all Funkos. This one is not Star Wars.
True. That might be a giveaway. So, all right, gang. Well, it's good seeing everybody. Everybody have a wonderful rest of the weekend. I will perhaps Risk of Rain with you.
Woohoo!
Perhaps. I'll save you on Discord.
All right.
We around to it, but cool. Final thoughts, insults, hand gestures.
So many insults.
All of the insults, all of them. Don't do things that are stupid. That's my thought for the day.
Don't do stupid things.
And that could get applied to any number of life events.
Very good advice, Nick. Hard to follow, apparently, but very good advice.
True.
When you do stupid things, expect stupid things to occur. Just saying.
We'll start making T-shirts.
Yeah, it's true. We're
gonna for $49.99.
$49.99,
and they're gonna have holes in them.
Yep. That's why they're gonna be expensive. They're gonna have an extra hole. Not just the arms and the neck. They're gonna have one in the middle.
Random place.
Just right in the stomach area, just middle.
And the rarest variant is the one that doesn't even have a neck hole.
Nick, unrelated. Have you started Have you started Firefly yet?
Oh
No. Sal, I'm
Why not?
glad you brought that up. What in the heck is this?
What's in the box?
Oh, I don't know. That's not for me.
That's a shirt.
Is that John
Oh,
Wayne?
It was with all the stuff that you gave me.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's for church.
That makes it even better. Because I was
honestly
like,
don't know.
what? I don't get this. What is this? Why do I need a
honestly-
John Wayne shirt? I don't get it. Is it a Firefly reference? I
It's
don't
in
know.
French, I believe, or something like that. Next
what?
time he is on, he'll explain it.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah. No, I have
French
not
shirt.
yet. It's on the US. You can see over this arm. You can see the USB sitting right there on the desk.
Well, I
behind me.
can't. I'm trying to
There's
use
a little
the
black.
force
There's a black
and drag
USB
it
right
over.
there over my shoulder.
and plug
on
it
the top of
into.
a black desk that is rigged beyond everything else, and that's where it is.
I'm gonna pull it towards you, and then I'm gonna through the force
Plug
plug
it
it
in
into
the
your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna
Yeah.
start
You
playing.
might want to be cautious because that desk is rigged beyond all belief. It's amazing it's standing.
Oh, good.
So. All right, guys.
Final quick PSA. If I posted this in the group or whatever, the Peloton app is free for the next couple of months. If you actually,
Cab's worrying about everybody's fitness.
I'm worried about everybody's fitness and fitting more pizza in your mouth. That's what Mitch says. Worried about fitness pizza in my mouth. The app is free for I think through February or something like that. By far the best $12 I spend every month.
Can I use it on a non-stationary bike?
Yeah, you can. Well, here's the thing: it's not just riding; it's strength, it's yoga, meditation, stretching, the whole thing. Like it legitimately is. It's a full game changer. Because here's the thing: even if you go and you do stuff for a couple of months and then you learn the stuff, you don't need to pay them $12 if you don't want to. But the classes and stuff are actually pretty good. So if it helps with your jam in 2021 and want to do some stuff and don't care about spending on a bike, because some people don't. It's worth it. So, and here's the thing: it's free right now.
Where do they find it?
Any app store. Any of the app stores will have it.
Okay.
Any of the app stores will have it. So, yes, indeed. So that's why I really can't lift my arms right now. Today was arm day. So
I just thought they were T-Rex arms. That's why they couldn't lift.
Yeah, we weren't gonna ask.
Yeah, that's part of it. Is like, if I put my arms above my head, they have to sit on my head because I can't really hold them up. It was a hard day today. So, all right, gang. Well, that's all we got. Stay safe. Stay not stupid.
Stay not stupid.
Stay not stupid. That might actually be the title of the episode.
I was gonna have that be my new sign off. Stay
not stupid.
There you go. There
we go. Very cool.
All
right, gang. Well, I'm Cav. That's Nick.
See you guys.
Earth 2 Church.
Stay not stupid, internet.
Should have gone to Sam first. I'm sorry, Sam.
Hannah's not evil.
Yes. Goodbye. See you, everybody.
I don't know. She snuck around in that game and sniped me unless that was you.